Oh, we love you here, brother from another, Chris Jones. We love you, Kansas City Chiefs. Last night, really interesting situation in the game. And Jim Trotter, first of all, you broke your promise. You told me today that you were going to wear a Richard Pryor shirt live at the Sunset Strip. That was from 1982. You didn't wear that shirt, but that's okay because we got something that connects even more appropriately to what we've been watching in the NFL. It's not Richard Pryor. It's someone who grew up watching Richard Pryor. His name is Eddie Murphy. Around about 1987, 1988, he had a concert film. It was called Raw. In one of the scenes in Raw, Eddie Murphy explained how sometimes somebody can be caught red-handed. I'm not going to get into the details because it's only 3 o'clock Eastern and it's too early to be telling this kind of, off-color story. But I'll just give you I'll give you the Cliff's Notes version. You can be caught red-handed doing something that you shouldn't be doing. I can look at you and say, oh, I see what's happening. And you turn around and say, it wasn't me. Oh, wait a minute. I saw you walk into the house. I saw her walk into the house. I saw what y'all was doing. It wasn't me. And that's what the NFL is doing to us right now. It wasn't me. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We know exactly what's happening. You're telling us it's roughing the passer. You're telling us it's roughing the passer. We're saying, no, it's not. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is roughing the passer. No, it's not. And Jim, what really insults your intelligence mind and every football fan watching nationally and globally in this international game, what really insults us all is the situation last night where Chris Jones has the football. Chris Jones has the football. He has taken the football away from Derek Carr, and he's going the other direction with the football. And this dude, Carl Sheffers, says, you landed with your full body weight on the quarterback. No, man, I got the quarterback. I got the football. I'm not even thinking about the quarterback. I got the ball. And he calls roughing the passer. Jim, I just don't know what to do. I appreciate Chris Jones in his comments, but I really don't have any solutions here. You're a professor. You're wearing great glasses today, so tell me, what's the answer?
Well, first off, you've given me a lot of things to clean up here. So let me start with number one off the top. I did make a promise to you, but as you said, this is still the children's hour, and so I could not wear that off-colored shirt on air. No matter what Chris Sims was saying last week, I just couldn't bring myself to do that, because folks look at us a little differently, as we'll get to with David Tepper. Secondly, you know where I work. I'm employed by the National Football League. I have been instructed and told that I'm not allowed to opine on officiating. I can report what others are saying, but me personally, I cannot opine on it. That being said, then, I will report on what others are saying about it. Right. Others are saying it is total BS. Again, we are in the family hour. When someone is respected, and someone with such great wisdom as Tony Dungy even comes out and says, this is terrible. The NFL is getting it wrong. And then comments when 2 videos are put up, the one where there was the roughing penalty against Grady Jarrett, and they say that Grady Jarrett unnecessarily threw Tom Brady to the ground. And then there is a video of the same exact thing being done to Patrick Mahomes last night, and there was no penalty flag. So Tony Dungy asked the question I think all of us are asking, why is one a penalty and the other is not? And so the Associated Press has come out today and said that the league, according to its sources, is going to discuss this, but that no change to this rule is expected this year. And I think that just, I almost opined.
You're just reporting. You're just reporting on what you see. That's all.
So let me say, when Chris Jones says that it should be reviewable, I, for one, know that there are many people that agree with him. I am reporting here. Many people agree that at the very least, it should be reviewable. If the college game can take time out to review targeting calls, etc., then the NFL should be allowed to stop play to review these roughing calls because of, as Chris Jones and Grady Jarrett both have said, now you're talking about potentially affecting players' livelihoods, coaches' livelihoods, because these calls have impacts potentially on the outcome of games. If Grady Jarrett makes that stop and it's allowed, I don't know if the Falcons win, but I do know they have an opportunity to try and win that game. And that's all you ever ask for in life, is an opportunity. And now that's being taken away from these players who have done, by what everyone else seems to say, nothing wrong.
Hey, Jim, you're right on the money, and your reporting, as usual, is excellent. Excellent reporting to what's happening. And I look at this and I hear Chris Jones. Great comments post game. You want to talk about writing your story for you. The Chiefs win the game. It's a 1-point game, and we can talk about some of the dynamics and some of the decisions that were made in the game a little bit later. But they win the game, and he winds up being a factor, but not for the wrong reasons, because he was a handful all night. He was getting held and grabbed and pushed, hands to the face, and they didn't call a lot of the things that the Raiders were doing to Chris Jones just to keep him away from Derek Carr, because he was around the quarterback a lot of the night. But
well, conversely, let's be fair. Let's be fair here. They also did not call a lot of things that were being done to Max Crosby.
Sure,
because Max Crosby was being held and other things.
Yep.
Much of the night.
They couldn't contain him early. It was like, oh, this is gonna be a problem. I don't know how Patrick is gonna be able to drop back several times and just be relaxed. But Jones said something that I don't think it's true. And I'm glad he believes it. Maybe I can take some of his optimism and absorb it into my own life and my own lenses. But he said if they had an opportunity to review roughing the passer, these officials would get it right. I don't think so. I don't even think they get it right on review, because there's a hubris there. There's an arrogance. There is a I know better than you do air that comes from some of them, and you hear it in the pool report. So this is how you know you got somebody. This is how you did, just in general, in football or anywhere else. If I tell you something you did wrong and you try to lawyer me, and you try to, you're going to try to dot my I's for me and cross my T's. Well, I'll tell you what a catch is firm grasp and control to the ground. No, I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you for a definition. I asked you, what was that? How about that thing? Don't give me a definition. What was that thing you saw? Well, a quarter is roughing the passer when X, Y, Z happens. Yeah, I got it. But what happened? Was that it? And so they will go on and on about rules and definitions and what I saw and interpretation and give you where it is in the rule book and not really address the issue. And I think the issue is this. Now, I've said this before, and people say, okay, that's going to fix it? Is that going to make them not make mistakes? No. But my proposal is not necessarily a fixed proposal. It's a proposal to make you 2% better, 2 to 3% better. Jim, let me ask a question. I'm just going to ask you this simple. When you have 3 things to do, and you have 1 thing to do. So let's say over here, column A, you got 3 things to do, and you do those 3 things. Column B, you got 1 thing to do, and you do that 1 thing. Where will you be more productive? Will you be more productive if you got 3 things to do and get them done, or 1 thing to do and get it done?
It depends on what that 1 thing is.
Hey, I think, for me, I'm going to answer my own question. I do a lot of things. I got a lot of things going on, okay? But if I could just do 1 thing, I think I'd be pretty good at it. And so NFL officials, not that it will fix what they're doing,
I know where
on
you're
Monday,
going.
Tuesday, yeah. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for those who are working on Sunday, they're not NFL officials. They're judges. Seriously, I'm not making this up. Jim knows I'm telling the truth.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
judges. They're dentists. They're school
Accountants.
teachers, accountants. I mean, they're doing all these things. And then start to get to the weekend. Oh yeah, I'm also an NFL official. Wait a minute, you mean to tell me? Hold on, let me get this straight. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You got some of the richest people in the world. It is the most lucrative sports league in North America, one of the most lucrative sports leagues in the world. And you have part-timers? You got part-timers kind of officiating the product? All right. And I know they'd be 2 or 3% better, Jim, if they could only focus on being officials. Because let's say, I'm just saying this for a friend. I'm not telling you my own story. This is not my own autobiography. Maybe I'm just telling you for a friend. Let's say I'm running into some legal problems. Let's say I got a little legal situation. I'm hemmed up. It's Tuesday. I got problems. I call my lawyer. Let's say my lawyer's name is Jerome Bogar, for example. I don't know what he does, but say, hey, Jerome, man, I got a situation. I need you to give me your full focus on this legal situation. And Jerome Bogar gives me his attention on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Then all of a sudden, he's out. Hey, man, my life is in the balance. He's out because he's focused on Buccaneers Falcons. Come on, man. These people should be full-time. They should be full-time officials. That's part of the problem right there. They don't do enough study of the job. They're not working on the job enough.
Nah, I love you, Michael, and you are the professor as well, but I got to disagree with you on this one. The one thing is you can have a rule, and there is still the element of the human factor, even when it comes to applying that rule. So what I say about roughing the passer is you can hide behind the legalese if you wish, but to me, certain things are a lot like we talk about the definition of pornography. You know it when you see it. When you see a roughing call that is obvious to everyone and you hide behind legalese, there's a problem. And for me, part of what gets me at times with officiating is just sort of the common sense that's taken out of it. You know, we all know what we see, and like we talk about what's a catch. We know what a catch is when we see it, but we got to hide behind whatever that definition is that the NFL comes up with, or even in other sports leagues, whatever definition they come up with for certain situations. So for me, again, I go back to this, just fundamentally, roughing when you see it. When you saw Grady Jarrett's play, I don't know. I still don't know of anyone outside of the officials in that game who said that was roughing. And when we saw Chris Jones last night, again, I'm reporting here, I don't know of anyone who said outside of the officiating crew that was roughing. And so there's your problem. So that's why I put in my feed there, are we being asked not to believe our eyes as we watch some of the calls that are being made here?
So let me just get this straight. You don't think they'd be 2 to 3% better
No.
if you had, how many officials they got? About 7? You don't think they'd be better?
No,
17,
I really don't.
They got 17 guys. I think it's 17 officials. So
I really don't.
Let's say
because some of the things, because again, some of the things are simply an interpretation of the rules. And whenever you are interpreting the rules, there is the human element there. And you're never going to remove that completely from the game, I believe. So it's like, for instance, and it may be a bad analogy, but let's just say the spotting of the foot. No,
do it. Yeah, bring it on.
It's all good. But the spotting of the football. We say the NFL, as you talked about, how lucrative this league is in terms of North America and even the world. And we're all saying, why can't there be some sort of chip in the football that can line up and tell us exactly where a ball should be spotted? So, for instance, on the 2-point attempt by the Raiders last night by Josh Jacobs, it's just a massive humanity in there.
That's right.
Can we categorically say that ball did not cross the goal line before his knee or elbow or something else touch down. I can't, but I wonder if technology were used, could we have had a more objective, for lack of a better
Yeah.
word, determination? So anytime the
Okay.
human element is involved, I think we're going to have things like this where we say they didn't get it right, and that's just the way it's going to be.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, and then we'll move on and talk with our brother Mark Spears after a little bit of a break, because there's a lot of NBA news we got to get to as well.
Ooh.
Football news, NBA news. I love this time of year. September, October, and November, things happening. Baseball playoffs, NFL starting, college football starting, basketball training camps, beginning of the regular season. So much happening. Hockey is starting. Hockey. I don't know about hockey, but hockey is starting here in Boston.
Man.
Here in Boston tomorrow starts the Bruins open their season. So let me ask you. You said the human element. I agree. Once you bring in folks and their interpretation, you're going to have 25 different explanations. But why don't they use technology? What you explained has happened. I mean, it happens in tennis. Tennis uses technology to the point where tennis players don't. It's not old school John McEnroe trying to argue with somebody like, you gotta be kidding me. Those McEnroe rants, that wouldn't exist today because it's all tech, and tech gets it right. So why can't, does football not want to? You can easily put a chip in the ball. Easily.
Michael, it's a great question. It's a great question, and one for which I don't have an answer. But I will say to you, as you talked about the baseball playoffs going on, I never thought growing up I would ever see a time where on the screen we would see pitches being charted in terms of, is it in this box for a strike or is it not? In real time. And at what point does baseball almost say, you know what, we don't need officials in terms of balls and strikes being called, because we have the technology now that shows where the pitch is as it crossed the plates in relationship to the batter who's in the box, that sort of thing. So I say to you to say the technology is there to do a number of things to hopefully improve sport. Why the NFL doesn't use it or why it has not, I can't say definitively because I have not asked that question. But I will say this to you, it is a question I will ask to try and get an answer.
It. I'm glad you're asking. Okay, and as we get ready for Mark Spears and take a break, I'm glad you're going to ask that in a football context. Don't ask that in baseball, because you know what I miss from baseball. Who you going to argue with? Remember like Earl Weaver and Tommy Lasorda, the pot-bellied manager, kind of amble out there. He's got the chew in there and he's going belly to belly with the umpire.
But we don't see that anymore.
You can't do that but you can't do that with but I know you can't do that with technology. It'd be like fighting against your TV or something. Like, who you gonna argue with? You gonna have a robot? They should have a robot out there. Just go out there and push the robot around. You need somebody.
One day we will. You watch. One day we will.
Like, when you're argumentative, you need somebody to argue with at all times. Even if that person is not arguing back, you just need somebody there. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.